pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everybody for coming this evening. Go ahead and call the roll.
Trustee Spurling. Here. Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Hines. Trustee Youngerman.
Yay.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
And Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Did you say yes in that chair first?
No, I didn't.
All right, we do have a quorum this evening. Moving on, we have public participation, public comment portion. It's a 2-minute opportunity. Any member of the public that's here that wishes to address the board on any topic may do so. If you're on the agenda elsewhere, we'll let you speak during that time. Seeing nobody jumping up. All right, move on. Response to previous public comment. Director Zofel.
Yes, if you'll recall, at the last meeting, we had a couple come and speak about the bike path that runs through the ComEd easement and goes along their backyard. Staff discussed it after the meeting. We actually drove around town and looked at the path in different areas. Based on that, our findings are that it's really not a unique situation. There are several areas where the path cuts behind people's houses, also places where the sidewalk runs past people's backyards, and there are no landscaping or fencing. So we don't find it to be a unique situation with just those 3 houses. Additionally, our agreement with ComEd that allows us to put the bike path through their easement does not allow us to install landscaping on their property. So we could not install landscaping there per the agreement. I don't know, Rich or Pete, if either of you have further.
Yeah, just one other further comment. I did talk to the property owners that came to the meeting, the Galerias, I talked to them on Friday and then again today. They wanted to be at the meeting tonight. They could not make the meeting tonight, so they asked that they have the opportunity to speak to the board again on January 9th, which would be your next meeting. So just wanted to report that.
Have they been notified that our agreement prohibits us from installing?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything in our agreement with ComEd that limits us to only putting the path next to adjacent properties? Can we, in the future, when we're doing connectors or something like that, can we put it a little bit further away from the property?
I believe that it states that it cannot be directly under the lines themselves, so there is a little bit of room on either side of where what would be the fall line of the transmission lines. But I'd have to look at it further to see if it talks more in depth about placement.
Thank you.
I could see that the opposite of the situation. If somebody were to have a fence and we put it 5 feet off, and then people would be upset with nobody maintaining that 5 feet of now landscaping. But I I appreciate staff looking into this. The couple made a compelling argument. They were very detailed and organized with their presentation last week, and I certainly feel for them as well that the bike path wasn't there before and it's here now, and it kind of changes the dynamic of their backyard. And if it was a unique situation, then we could look into, different options. But it's not unique, and I don't think that we're prepared to supply everybody in town with a bike path or sidewalk behind their house with landscaping or fencing. So, but we'll hear from them in January, and hopefully they'll watch the tape of this meeting so they understand. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Now we'll move on to item C, which is the River Run check presentations. And I'll turn it over to the jester of the race.
Thanks, Village President. Appreciate that. So we have a slideshow that'll be continuously playing throughout the evening until we're done here. But I think you'll get a flavor of some of the race. There's photographs of the race and the runners and other things. But I wanted, before we do the check presentations, I wanted to once again thank our sponsors and our volunteers. And first, if I can, we had 28 sponsors for the last race, which was great. Our award or event sponsor was South Moon Barbecue. Our gold sponsors were Caterpillar, Ozinga, Dolan and Murphy, Rush Copley, Village of Montgomery and Engineering Enterprises, and then our silver sponsors were VVF, Illinois Services, Lion Conan Insurance, All Steel Credit Union, Rosati's, RJ O'Neill, Wabanzi Community College, Scott Eye Care, and then our sponsored level was Fox Valley Building Trades, Kaufman Trucks Sales, F&C Industries, Spear Financial, First National Bank, and then we have in-kind sponsors as well, Walmart, Meijer, Great Clips, Fox Valley Park District, Panera Bread, United Facilities, Advance America, and Naperville Running Company. So thanks to all the sponsors. That really makes it happen for us, so we appreciate that. We had a number of volunteers, and after we do the check presentation, we'll come back and talk about the volunteers. The photography is compliments of Stan Bond, who does our photography and does a great job. You'll see as we go through there, we take photos of the individual recipients, and people seem to enjoy that part. Matt does the presentations, and we get photos of everybody. So, and one of the, like this photo is a good example. You have youngsters that run, and then older folks that run as well. So we get the gamut of people that are running at the race. We run both a 5K and a 10K, and again, people seem to enjoy it. We have a number of stalwarts at the event. The fire department is there with their ladder truck, which is always exciting for people to see, so they enjoy that. So that's all part of the festivities. So it's been well received, and we've had a good time doing it. So, but really the reason we do it is to raise money for various charities. And this year, we've decided to donate money to three different groups. First, the VFW of Montgomery, then the Montgomery Foundation, and finally the Montgomery Rotary Company, Rotary Group. So what I'd like to do is just have the VFW, the Montgomery Foundation, and the Rotary folks come on down. We've got three big checks and three little checks to hand out, and I'll ask the mayor if he wouldn't mind doing that. Maybe we can start with VFW.
That's the one you want.
Marion's like, I can handle it.
All right, last but not least, if the Rotary folks will come on down. And just for the audience benefit, we have $2,000 for the VFW, $1,500 for the Montgomery Foundation, and $1,500 for the Rotary as well.
You know she's taking it home and putting it on the wall. It's a family picture. It's coming down over the way. She's gonna come home. She's gonna get it first.
My Marlins.
Teresa, just an FYI that you cannot deposit that check in an ATM.
You could. You could, if it was made out correctly.
I just want to say thanks to all the folks that helped out at the race. And I've got some plaques for the different groups. So we have the village officials and staff, police department, public works, fire department, and all the departments in the city. So I have plaques for, if you guys want to come on down, we're not done yet.
Oh.
I got here. I have finance, police,
Both of you go.
That's the most you've run.
At a time.
Yeah. His jacket?
Why am I out here for Rotary?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not hilarious. You know, it came with a ruffled shirt. Doug told me.
Good luck getting out of your driveway in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. Turn that fire on my house.
You know, I just would like to say thanks to Pete and his staff from EEI for spearheading this every year. A lot of work goes into putting that event together. It's a relatively quick event from start to finish in the public eye, but a great deal of behind-the-scenes effort goes into it, so we certainly appreciate everything you do on that. It brings people to the downtown, which is one of our main focuses that we work on, and they enjoy the river and everything else, so thank you. All right, move on to the consent agenda. I'll read the items and then entertain a motion for approval. Minutes of the village board meeting of November 28th, the building report for November of 2016, accounts payable through December 8th, 2016, cancellation of the December 20th, 2016 committee of the whole meeting, cancellation of the December 27th, 2016 village board meeting, ordinance 1749, which is the abatement of a 2016 tax levy for one of our bonds, the 2007 series. We have ordinance 1750, also abatement of the tax levy for the 2008A bond. Ordinance 1751, abatement of the tax levy for the 2010 bond. Ordinance 1752, abatement of the 2016 tax levy for the bond from 2011. Ordinance 1753, providing for the abatement of the 2016 tax levy on the 2013 bond. And Ordinance 1754, providing for the abatement of the 2016 tax levy for the 2014 bond. And these are all waiver of first, passage on the second. And then item L, Ordinance 1762, amending Section 12 of the Village of Montgomery zoning ordinance. This is second reading. This was the one we discussed regarding signs previously. And M, Ordinance 1763, amending Section 12A of our zoning ordinance, and that was the tree list that we discussed. And the last item is a solid waste contract extension with Republic Service.
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
And that carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving on, we have items for separate action. Ordinance 1748, adopting the tax levy for 2016. This is the second reading. Director Van Voren, did you have any changes or anything to add?
Nothing to add at this
All
time.
right. Any comments or questions from the board? We discussed this previously a couple of times, and we did not have any public comment on this previously. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
And Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
That carries 5-0. Thank you. Item B, Ordinance 1716, annexing territory for the Aurora University at 1726 Jericho Road. This is second reading. Director Young?
Thank you, President Brawley. The annexation tonight, as we talked about last time, is a 1.4 acre site along Jericho Road that would be added to the overall planned AU athletic complex. Staff recommends approval, subject to some minor grammatical changes that need to be made on the plat of annexation.
Any questions from the board or staff or the petitioner?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
And Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
All right, that carries 5-0. Moving on to item C, we have ordinance 1761 granting a special use for a planned unit development zoning for Aurora University, second reading. Director Young.
Thank you. This item was before you last time. We had a number of comments from the village staff as well as EEI and the fire district that have been incorporated into revisions to the plan description itself. They deal with monumentation, the planned archway over the drive to access the site from what will be hopefully the new edge lawn extended in the future, fencing, landscaping on site, parkway trees and sidewalks along Jericho Road, parking, the lighting of the athletic fields, reservation and future dedication of the Edgelon right-of-way and utility easement. All of these items have been worked on in conjunction with the village attorney and the attorney and AU, and we recommend approval of the plan description that's before you tonight, subject to attorney review, final attorney review, and then at a later time, we'll come back with the final plat and engineering for the first phase of the overall development before they actually start dirt work in the spring. So we recommend approval of the revised document that's before you tonight.
And that's this one that was at our setting today. Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
Just for clarification, this one that's here is
That's the
latest
final
version.
document as, yes, has been proposed.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
And Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
That carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item D, we have 1758, amending the village code to create a Class P liquor license, authorizing sale of beer at gas station facilities. This is the second reading. Staff have any additional items on this? This is creating a Class P, not creating, and there's still 0, right?
That is correct. We're creating a new classification if you pass it. And at present, there are no available liquor licenses for that. You would have to do that in the next ordinance if you chose to do so. The only clarification from last time was to Denny's point, that we're being very clear about it, that there's no single serving sales of beer available here. So it's a 6-pack, a 12-pack, a 24-pack, whatever. But it has to be an original package like that.
I think this is a nice option for folks, for business owners to apply for this. It's a little bit less, I think the fee is less if they wanted to do a beer versus the next stage up of our liquor license. So I do like the option available.
And I think it will help the owner with his finances, even though it's not a very big store, to put in a big array, but it'll be enough to help him out. That corner's a tough corner.
Yeah, and I think even more so in village-wide, this, I think having a Class P is fine. I don't think there's any, I think it's a nice benefit to have. So, any other comments from the board? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Bond.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
And Trustee Youngerman.
That carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving on, we have E, which is ordinance 1747, amending the village code to create a Class P liquor license for Primetime Fuels. If you recall, it was tabled from our November 28th village board meeting. This is a waiver of first and passage on the second reading. Staff have anything else to add? So this would be the specific license for a user.
Could I propose we're missing a board member tonight, and that's unusual. Pete's had a tremendous record of attendance. And this is a pretty important decision. So I'm hoping that we might entertain the thought of postponing this one more time until we have a full board and the village has a full voice in the decision.
In this case, I would support that.
I would agree with that as well.
We put this guy off for 3 months now. I don't know how. If I was in his position, I don't know if I could take another month.
I completely understand the timing of that, but I also feel like a unified voice on this would be, what I would hate to do is pass something or fail something just because one vote wasn't here, because I think the board is pretty well split on this issue.
Would we be putting it on for the January 9th meeting and then making a decision at that point? If Pete weren't in attendance of that meeting, would we?
I mean, that would be entirely up to us at that time, if we wanted to do that. I see what your point is, that we can't
I mean,
prolong it.
correct. It's been November 28th we tabled it from that one, so.
We had a lively discussion at the last meeting, and I think there are differing points of view. And for the sake of the community, I think it'd be good if the full board were present.
Well, it depends on, if it's a tie vote, then the mayor votes, and it depends how he feels right now, but if he feels like it's going to help the guy and he's going to do it, then all we're doing is stalling it for another 6 weeks for the gentleman to figure out, is he going to own the building or isn't he?
Well,
And that place, when nobody's there, Stan, that place was empty for a long time.
I understand.
And
but
that's a big,
we represent 18,437 people.
but 18,000 people ain't gonna go by that place, you understand? I mean, I don't think a guy out there is gonna worry about, if he lives in the Yorkville School District and he drives that direction, if he's gonna worry about if a guy's gonna buy a six-pack of beer on that gas station, I'm
I
sorry.
will on his behalf, and I think the issue is, do we want a full board to vote on a new liquor license or not, irregardless of the business or the circumstance. So I hope the board might see their way to let the full board have a decision.
I get everybody's point. I think, so that nobody has to read between the lines, I'm not very excited about a liquor license in that location. So a vote tonight could pass it, when in fact the full board probably would. Without speaking for anybody, I spoke to everybody before. So that's my only concern, Denny, is that I feel like we've had some issues recently in that specific area. Had this been in any different area, I'd be more supportive of it. I even spoke supportive of creating that type of liquor license, but I feel like I've talked with the fire chief from that area and there has been some issues with folks in that area, more on foot traffic buying, and this certainly wouldn't do anything to improve that. I feel badly that that we're taking it out on one user, but I don't think that adding another liquor license in that area would help. I don't think that's going to help us solve that problem. It might not hurt it, but it's definitely not going to help it. So that's how I would vote if I had to vote tonight, just to.
It's definitely hard liquor with these gentlemen are the problem, but I would say fine, but at least let the gentleman know now, so he isn't stalled for, either he buys it like it is, and he knows he's not gonna get his liquor license. I mean, I like to at least be upfront with the guy, because we've stalled him off long enough now, and just say, let's wait another month, and then let's wait another. If that's the way you feel, and we know it's gonna be a 3-3, then tell him now.
Yeah.
If
And
you want to buy it, fine, but you're not going to have a liquor license, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
staff conveyed
fine
as
with
much
me.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
It conveyed as much today to him too, so. You want to make that motion?
So the motion to table, please, or postpone maybe is the correct term.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Bond?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
And Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you all. All right, so we'll see that at a future meeting. Moving on, we'll have Resolution 2016-017, authorizing the acceptance of Montgomery Business Center Unit 1 and Alcott Road improvements. Turn it over to, all right, Director Young.
Thank you. This resolution would authorize the acceptance of the Montgomery Business Center Unit 1 improvements, which include the right-of-way improvements for the subject subdivision and the frontage along Alcott Road, the right-of-way along Alcott Road, and also Commerce Drive extended. There are a few items that still must be completed. We have received record drawings as of Friday. They're under review now, so we would recommend that the bond be retained until the items have been reviewed in the record drawings, and then there's also the item of some small areas that were unable to be covered with seed and seed blanket prior to the snow coming a couple weeks ago. So those items will have to be addressed in the spring, but we would have the bond capability to go in and do that if the developer does not complete them. So we'd recommend approval subject to those items.
Thank you. Comments, questions? Would we be responsible then to plow the new road this winter?
We've already taken on that responsibility as kind of an informal agreement with them.
Okay. All right, hearing no comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Bond?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
And Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
That carries 5-0. Thank you. All right, moving on. Items for discussion. We don't have any new or unfinished business.
I have an item real quick, just a question. Couple of years ago, we were able to get recycling containers through our waste management or whoever, Republic or whoever it is. We're able to get refuse containers, large refuse containers as well, correct? You have one, right?
They're
Yeah.
offered as a rental option. I
And
believe.
And I have to contact them for that? Not something we go through the village for?
I'm not certain about that, to be honest. I can look into it and get back to you.
I think if you call the number that's listed on our website, it would work. Yeah, I rent my larger,
Okay.
yeah, you have diapers now? that you
We
guys-
have increased garbage because we have diapers now. I own a 3.5-week-old, and we're realizing that the little container that we have no longer works.
Did you just say you
You own?
Well, I co-own.
Dale, I'd like a copy of this tape, please. I have a Christmas gift for his wife.
I'm co-owner of a 3.5-week-old.
Now, when you do
Anybody
the,
else?
when you do the large receptacle, just out of curiosity, do you get just that one receptacle then, as opposed to the 2 cans?
Correct. Yeah, but it's more volume than the 2
Okay.
cans, so I pay $13 every 3 months or something for that.
Okay.
But yes, we can talk about my other bills and stuff if you guys want outside of the meeting.
Hey, let's
All
talk
right,
about
anybody have
diapers.
anything else?
No.
You were unfinished?
I would mention the holiday decorations judging will happen Wednesday evening. We've had what appears to be a record number of submissions again, and probably a record cold night for judging, but thank everyone for participating in that program, and the judges are looking forward to a pleasant evening.
Awesome. All right, you can see future meetings there. We canceled the last 2 meetings on here. There's Plan Commission on January 5th. Our next meeting will be next year. Hopefully, everybody has a very happy and safe holiday season and New Year, and we'll see everybody back here in January. With that, entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of an employee pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Bond?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
And Trustee Lee?
Yes. Yeah, may as well throw it in, come on.